Remember those mornings enjoying coffee and breakfast while swooning over Rock Hudson? Comment your breakfast below. But behind that silver screen glamour lay a bittersweet reality. In Hollywood's golden age, being true to oneself meant career suicide, forcing these leading men to trade personal happiness for orchestrated marriages. This video pulls back the velvet curtain to honor their silent sacrifices. Let's uncover the deeply hidden secrets of 7 unforgettable Hollywood icons right now. And don't forget to subscribe for more classic cinema history. Rock Hudson remains the definitive icon of Hollywood's golden era. Throughout the 1950s and 1960s, he captured the heart of America as the ultimate leading man. Tall, remarkably handsome, and effortlessly charming. Universal Pictures meticulously sculpted his image, presenting him as the dependable hero, the perfect husband, and the very blueprint of traditional masculinity. For a generation of moviegoers, he was the dream. Yet behind that polished silver screen persona lay a heartbreaking reality. In an era when major studios strictly policed their stars' private lives, Hudson faced immense pressure to hide his true self. His public image was a priceless studio asset. To protect it, his 1955 marriage to Phyllis Gates was orchestrated a necessary shield in a time when exposing one's sexuality meant the instant destruction of a career. His story was not one of deception, but of survival within a rigid system that demanded absolute conformity. That is why his 1985 disclosure that he was battling AIDS deeply shook the nation. For millions who had grown up watching him, Hudson brought a familiar beloved face to a devastating crisis that had been largely ignored or heavily stigmatized. His final courageous announcement sparked a vital national conversation, forcing America to look at the epidemic with empathy. Ultimately, Rock Hudson's legacy reveals the profound personal cost of maintaining Hollywood's illusions. He spent a lifetime guarding a truth he was never allowed to live, but his ultimate honesty changed the world forever. Liberace remains the definitive icon of American showmanship. With his sparkling costumes, towering candelabras, and dazzling piano virtuosity, he created a larger-than-life persona that captivated audiences for decades. For a generation of fans, his extravagant style wasn't just entertainment, it was pure magic. Yet behind the blinding glamour lay a profound contradiction. Liberace ruled the stage during an era when acknowledging one's homosexuality meant instant career ruin. While rumors whispered quietly, he fiercely defended his public image, utilizing a protective studio system that demanded absolute silence. The true fascination of Liberace's legacy is how willingly America embraced the illusion. The media, the industry, and his devoted fans collectively chose to look at the spectacular show rather than the man behind it. It was a silent agreement. As long as the music played and the rhinestones shifted, the truth could wait. That illusion shattered in 1987. When Liberace passed away from AIDS-related complications, the public could no longer ignore the human being behind the sequins. His tragic end forced a deeply conservative nation to confront the harsh reality of the epidemic and the immense heartbreaking pressure public figures faced to hide their true selves. Liberace spent his life delivering the ultimate escape, but his final act reminded the world of the vulnerable man who paid the price for our applause. Anthony Perkins became forever immortalized as Norman Bates in Psycho, a character whose boyish smile concealed deep inner turmoil. While that legendary performance cemented his status as a Hollywood icon, Perkins's own life was defined by a profound lifelong need for privacy and self-protection. Remarkably intelligent, charming, and sensitive Perkins navigated a fiercely restrictive Hollywood. During the 1950s, he shared a quiet, private relationship with fellow heartthrob Tab Hunter, and romance that had to remain strictly hidden in an era when any public acknowledgement of same-sex love would instantly destroy a career. Like his contemporaries, Perkins mastered the painful art of separating his public persona from his private reality, a necessary survival tactic in an industry that demanded absolute conformity. Later, Perkins married Barry Berenson, becoming a deeply devoted husband and father. This cherished chapter of his life was genuinely happy and meaningful, beautifully reflecting the complexity of a man whose rich life story defies simple labels. When Perkins passed away in 1992 from AIDS-related complications, the media rushed to turn his life into a symbol, often overlooking the human being behind the headlines. Yet those who truly knew him remembered a brilliant actor, a gentle friend, and a fiercely dedicated family man. Today, Anthony Perkins is remembered not just for the greatest thriller in cinema history, but for the quiet dignity with which he bore the heavy pressures of Hollywood's golden age. Montgomery Clift never fit the mold of a conventional Hollywood leading man, and that was precisely his genius. He brought an unprecedented emotional depth, raw vulnerability, and haunting intensity to the silver screen. For a generation of moviegoers, Clift was unforgettable because audiences could sense that beneath his striking quiet presence lay a man channeling genuine, deeply felt pain. However, this extraordinary sensitivity set him painfully apart in an era that demanded male stars project absolute confidence, control, and traditional masculinity. Clift's private life was deeply complex, filled with relationships and desires that defied Hollywood's rigid expectations, forcing him to keep his truest self hidden from the world. His struggles grew tragically visible after a devastating 1956 car accident that left him with severe injuries and chronic lifelong pain. As he battled subsequent addiction and declining health, the relentless pressure of living under constant public scrutiny only magnified his heavy burden. On screen, Clift masterfully transformed his vulnerability into cinematic brilliance. Off screen, that same tenderness left him defenseless against an industry that valued a polished image over human individuality. When he passed away in 1966, the world lost a pioneer of method acting. Today, Montgomery Clift is remembered not only as one of Hollywood's finest actors, but as a poignant symbol of the devastating personal cost of fame. His legacy remains a powerful reminder that behind the glamorous illusion was a sensitive human being, simply longing to be understood. For millions of television viewers, Raymond Burr was the ultimate embodiment of integrity and unwavering authority. As the legendary Perry Mason, he became an American institution, famous for exposing deception and delivering justice with calm, commanding confidence. Week after week, audiences welcomed him into their living rooms, trusting him completely as the man who could always separate truth from fiction. Away from the courtroom cameras, however, Burr guarded his personal life with remarkable, meticulous care. For decades, he shared a deeply devoted, loving relationship with his partner, Robert Benavides. Yet to shield this reality from a fiercely intolerant industry, Burr frequently spoke of a tragic past involving a fictional wife and son who had allegedly died. While biographers later revealed these stories were fabricated, they were a necessary armor in an era when honesty meant the instant destruction of a career. A grieving, tragic widower fit comfortably within society's traditional expectations, whereas a committed same-sex relationship did not. Rather than judging him, we must understand the immense pressure of his era. When Burr passed away in 1993, he left behind an extraordinary legacy of professionalism. The striking contrast remains one of television's most celebrated seekers of truth, spent his own life protecting his personal reality behind a carefully constructed narrative. Raymond Burr's story is a poignant reminder that in classic Hollywood, the price of privacy was often a lifetime of beautiful, protective illusions. Tab Hunter was one of the brightest, most dazzling young stars of the 1950s. With his sun-kissed blonde hair, athletic build, and wholesome charm, Warner Brothers successfully presented him as the definitive American heartthrob. To millions of adoring fans, he beautifully embodied the youthful optimism and clean-cut image that post-war America loved to celebrate. Yet behind that golden public persona lay a challenging reality that many stars of his era knew all too well. Hunter was a gay man navigating an industry where exposing that truth meant the instant destruction of everything he had built. Maintaining his immense popularity required absolute discretion. His quiet, hidden romance with fellow icon Anthony Perkins remains one of the most poignant love stories of classic Hollywood, a testament to the heavy pressures of studio-enforced conformity. Remarkably, unlike many of his contemporaries who carried their secrets to the grave, Hunter lived to tell his own truth. In his courageous 2005 autobiography, Tab Hunter Confidential, he spoke candidly about his double life, stripping away the glamorous facade to give audiences a deeply honest understanding of his era. When he passed away in 2018, he left behind a legacy of immense bravery. Today, Tab Hunter is remembered not just as a beloved movie star, but as a trailblazer who shed light on the profound personal sacrifices hidden behind Hollywood's most polished illusions. George Nader possessed every quality Hollywood demanded of a 1950s leading man. With his ruggedly handsome features, commanding screen presence, and natural charisma, he was perfectly cast as the heroic star of romantic adventures and sci-fi classics like Robot Monster. To millions of moviegoers, he beautifully embodied the era's traditional masculine ideal. Behind the glamorous silver screen image, however, Nader's private life collided with the industry's narrow expectations. He was a gay man working under a ruthless studio system that monitored every star's personal life. But what sets Nader's legacy apart is the remarkable, dignified path he ultimately chose. Rather than spending his lifetime trapped in Hollywood's suffocating web of deception, he made the courageous choice to step away from the spotlight. The true anchor of his life was his deeply devoted partnership with Mark Miller. Their profound bond spanned more than 5 decades, becoming one of the most enduring love stories in classic Hollywood history. When the tabloids threatened to expose his sexuality, Nader quietly transitioned to an international acting career and later became a successful science fiction novelist, writing the groundbreaking gay sci-fi novel Chrome in 1978. When Nader passed away in 2002, he left behind a legacy defined not by scandal, but by peaceful fulfillment. George Nader is remembered today not just as a talented star, but as an inspiration. His life proves that true success is not measured by fame alone, but by the ultimate courage to walk away from expectations and build a genuine life on one's own terms. For millions of television viewers in the 1970s, Will Geer was the ultimate patriarchal figure, beloved as the wise, compassionate grandpa Zebulon Walton on The Waltons. On screen, he beautifully embodied warm stability and traditional American family values. Yet that comforting image captures only a fraction of his extraordinary complex life. Away from the gentle fictional world of Walton's Mountain Gear was a fierce political activist and true bohemian whose convictions often clashed with powerful institutions. Furthermore, his private life was remarkably progressive for his time, having relationships with both men and women, including a notable romance with prominent gay rights pioneer Harry Hay Geer. Navigated a deeply restrictive era where such personal truths carried immense risk. Geer's unyielding principles were severely tested during the dark days of the Hollywood blacklist in the 1950s. Refusing to name names or cooperate with the House Un-American Activities Committee, HUAC, he was effectively banished from the entertainment industry. Like many courageous artists of that era, he paid a devastating professional price for his political and personal independence. Despite these overwhelming obstacles, Geer's resilience prevailed, He triumphantly rebuilt his career, ultimately cementing his legacy on television before his passing in 1978. Today, Will Geer is cherished not just as America's favorite grandfather, but as a man of formidable integrity who remained fiercely true to himself during one of Hollywood's most oppressive chapters.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos. See you in the next one.